Well, this is it. If you've been following along, you'll know that we're here at the Perihelion of our journey to Sturgis, South Dakota. I think that's cause for celebration. Cheers. If you're just jumping in though, I'll give you a little background. We've been headed to Sturgis, South Dakota, site of the largest motorcycle rally in the world. It's taken us 3 days through the desert, over the mountains, and through the high plains. It's been a trip, and we're finally here. There's a lot to do. We've only got 3 days to do it. For me, the cost of a good night's sleep comes at the price of never wanting to leave the dream. But there was coffee, and today, waking life seemed it would be worth the payment. I was with friends, and this guy. There were new friends to be made, too, but the ops were all around us. Perhaps this place wasn't as lawless as I had imagined, but I figured if we kept our meth running to a minimum, we'd be okay. Sturgis is a small town, even from an on-foot perspective, but as usual, it's the best way to see it. So we set out with a simple goal of exploration and documentation. It really was a sight, something I'm not sure you can see anywhere else. Although the rally extends much farther than the city limits, the town center is where people come during the day to hang out and show off. That's exactly what we did. Day one was a bit of a rest day. We're not that old, but 1,000 miles doesn't get any easier. We'd need all that energy for day two. We had an early morning and 160 miles on the road. Hey, buddy. At this point, I was interrupted by one of our neighbors. Turns out I'll be welcoming my first guest to the show. What the heck? Where did you come from? Well, say hi to everybody. Well, I don't think you want that. Not yet. All right, buddy. I gotta get back to work. Well, seems we have a guest. Well, I guess I have no choice but to get this done with our new friend here. "5 a.m., but the mild hangover was easier to bear in the dark. I had packed up the night before. This early, I like to do as little thinking as possible. The town was still dead quiet, except, of course, for our feline neighbors. It was a funny contrast to the deafening cosmic background of V-twin engines that would come alive in just a few hours. Better to beat the rush, we figured. Plus, we had a sunrise to catch in Deadwood. The cold morning roads were a welcome contrast to the route we took to get here. Deadwood was an easy 15 miles to the southwest, and the chill would bring me back to life before we got there. This town has a population of 1,400, if I'm being generous. And right now, maybe 1/100th of that population was awake. So it's the perfect time to snap some photos. was time for breakfast, but Deadwood was still closed for business. We'd heard about a popular spot along our route, so we headed south toward Hill City. Hill City Cafe was meant to have the best breakfast buffet in the area, and, admittedly, didn't disappoint, even if hunger is the best spice.
There was one curve where the construction really started that caught me off.
We seemed to be one step ahead of the crowd as we were leaving the diner. We geared up and made our way towards our next stop, Needles Highway. Needles Highway, or South Dakota Route 87 by its government name, is a 14-mile scenic drive in Custer State Park. It's famous among riders for its towering granite spires, narrow tunnels, and hairpin turns. We threaded the tunnel known as the Needle's Eye and made our way farther into the park, headed towards our next attraction, the Wildlife Loop. As we headed downhill, the mountains turned to meadows. We'd reached the Wildlife Loop in Custer State Park. We found a turnout and pulled over. The donkey were very friendly. You can go right up to them, although I think they were just looking for food. Bison, on the other hand, were best viewed from a distance. After the bison turned to AI, we exited the park and found a place to rest and regroup. We pulled out the map, trying to find the best way home. Turns out there were some beautiful country roads before the highway leading back to Sturgis. A beautiful 160-mile ride, and we'd made it home safe. I'd say that was a good day. Day 2 was a success. There was nothing left to do now but set it off. I think we'd earned a good dinner and some cold beer. Day 3 had come upon us quickly, and I figured if we didn't start partying now, we'd miss our chance. So the plan for the day was to visit the infamous Throttle Saloon, a place supposedly still from another time, full of chaos and mayhem. But as it turns out, we'd gone too long without an issue, and upon inspection we realized that Jason's windshield had broken. Although hardly cause for panic, it's arguable that we were in the best spot in the entire world to have any kind of issues with our bikes. And as it turns out, Memphis Shades, the company that makes my own fairing, had a booth right down the road. So we went down to see if they had a fitment for Jason. As it turns out, they did. And after talking with the tech, Joe, I learned that he has his own motorcycle channel, which I'll put a link to here. Joe lives on the road, which I have a lot of admiration for. It was good meeting you, brother. And thanks for the help. We found a cool spot to sit and hang out until the work was done. It was nice to slow down. Sometimes I forget this is what it's all about. Before we knew it, Jason had a new fairing. With the day's woes behind us, it was time for the main event. And now, it's time to head to Full Throttle. Just 10 miles outside of town was the Full Throttle Saloon, known as the world's largest biker bar. It's famous for its massive scale and wild atmosphere during the rally, featuring huge concerts, burnout pits, zip lines, tattoo parlors, and a campground. I really couldn't wait to see it. Even from the road, the scale was staggering. I feel like the GoPro video might undersell it, but the energy was palpable. We rode past thousands of bikes as we looked for a parking spot. Just the sight of this was so consuming, it became easy to forget that it wasn't the only place in the world. As a rider, it's easy to feel insular, isolated by the freedom that comes with it. When you're out on the road, it's just you. I'd never been able to share that feeling with so many people, and that feeling was intoxicating. But as I parked, I remembered that wasn't the only intoxication I came here for, so we headed inside. The vibe was clear. It was rock and roll and beer for over 600 acres, although we wouldn't be able to tour that much of the property. Instead, we found a nice little home in the main area of the bar. Good for people watching and checking out all the antique bikes they had on display. I'd say there were people from all walks of life here, but that clearly isn't true. Although I think we did catch the earlier crowd, so we were a little light on the mayhem. Full Throttle did, however, have its own distillery, which I was eager to check out. Purveying mostly moonshine and whiskey, we headed in for some samples. Moonshine, baby. I'm kind of sold on that already.
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
It's better than moonshine I've had.
Knowing our limits, though, we decided to pack it in, but not before a few more photos. It wasn't until after I got this roll developed I realized that it had already been exposed. Somehow the leader was still out on it, and I loaded it up unknowingly, but it did yield some cool results on a few frames. After stuffing a bottle of whiskey in my saddlebag, I said a remorseful goodbye to the saloon. Although it was time to go, I imagined it wouldn't be the last time I would be here. We left this legendary place to let its chaos unfold for the night in peace. We did, after all, have to start our journey home tomorrow, beginning this time in reverse, and knowing what challenges the road would bring on the way home. Back at home, we celebrated a successful trip with a good meal, a bottle of whiskey, and good friends. Our last night at Sturgis had come to a close. We'd now been inducted into a group of people that could say that they came and saw. And although a little worse for the wear maybe, we'll do it all over again. Tomorrow we'll head home, taking something truly unique with us. Like that, it was over. I had that sense of accomplishment you get when you check something off a bucket list. And I'm glad I could share it with you guys. Tomorrow we head home. We'll book it straight for Colorado, all three of us. Yeah? Until next time. Cheers.